And I want to start off talking about the monthly statistics in Tampa. And it's interesting because when you look at the stats, it mirrors what everyone's saying, right now about, home prices and values and the market improving. But there were a couple of interesting things that I noticed in the stats. And I don't know if you saw them, Mike, but for the first time in a while, we saw the average sale price drop a little bit. However, we saw the number of home sales from March to April drop. Now, so just to kind of put it into perspective, though, 2,912 sales in April, 3,312 in March. Last April, we had 2,907. But in March, we had 2,692. The April before that, it was 2,835. In April, 2,748 in March. Every year that these stats go back and track, April did better than March in terms of the number of sales.
Right, yeah, and I have noticed, as far as my business, that sales price number has gone down a little bit. It's
softening a little bit, and I think there's some reasons for it. Ultimately, whenever you have a big run-up in price, you're going to have some step-back periods. And this could be the start of what a lot of people predicted, which was the stabilization, where prices would start to, flatline a little bit. And stabilize, and we could see the beginnings of that, or it could just be an anomaly for a month. It could be a lot of people's closings got pushed, or a lot of people decide to wait a little bit longer. You usually do see from March through the summer, each month the sales get a little bit better and the price go up a little bit more. So it'll be a telling tale to see what happens.
Right. I will say my numbers for May appear to be higher as far as a sales price and loan amount compared to April. So hopefully it was just an anomaly.
Yeah, our company as well. So we'll see when the full stats come out. A couple other parts of the stats. 2.6 months of inventory. It was 2.5 last month. Listed sell price ratio is 97%. And then we talk about this every month, but as you climb the price charts, the inventory, you get more inventory. And as you get lower in price point, you get less inventory and homes sell faster. So that's just pretty typical. We continue to see, though, improvement in the luxury market. That's one thing that I've noticed. I thought a year or two ago that our luxury market had to be overvalued. It's like, how can this many people afford $1 million homes in Tampa? And it keeps improving and keeps doing better and appreciating. I've noticed that. Financing, I think, has a lot to do with that, because it was very, very hard during the decline to get financing on on higher priced homes. The jumbo loans were harder and harder. Now it seems like the banks want that product.
Right.
They want to buy it back, and the banks want to sell it and service it. And I think it's probably a means to get other business from the high net worth individuals. They start with a mortgage and then they sell them, other things.
Right.
But nonetheless, those products are very competitively priced now, and I think a lot of people that maybe couldn't have, swung it because the rate being higher or down payment requirements being more, it's now starting to spread out and accommodate more people.
Right. There are some loosening coming up with the jumbo. Anytime you finance more in our area, 424,100, it's considered jumbo financing.
And it's so funny because I keep saying 417.
Right.
Because that's what it was for
so
long. It was 417 for so long.
Many years.
And now obviously it's 424.1.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Above that is jumbo.
Right. Exactly. And our company, we actually just rolled out a new program that I learned about yesterday, a 10% down jumbo loan with no PMI. So, there's options like that are hitting the market, whereas for so long it was 20% that was needed for jumbo. Then it kind of scaled back to 15. Now there's some options out there for as little as 5 and 10% down for jumbo loans.
Yeah, and I think that has really opened it up on the higher end market. The other thing that I thought was peculiar about a slowdown in April, or not necessarily peculiar, but a contributing factor is lack of inventory, and new construction seems to be slowing a little bit. And I don't know why. When I talk to our friends at D.R. Horton, our preferred in-house builder partner that comes on the radio show with us, when I talk to them about it, things are going gangbusters
Right.
for them. They're doing incredible.
They're
Their numbers
crushing
are up, and so they're not seeing that. But across the market as a whole, and in Florida and across the country, you did see a drop in new construction starts as well as new construction closings, and I think that a lot of that is builders attempting to figure out who to accommodate or who to specialize in, whether it's going to be the boomers, the millennials, whether it's going to be a move-up situation, who their targeted customer is, and then, of course, keeping up with demand, because if there's not resale product, if a buyer goes out and says, I want to live in this area, and they look all over and they can't find anything they want in that area, then likely they're going to maybe move out a little bit and then buy, potentially maybe a newer home out in the burbs instead of an older home in the city. And similarly, that's what my wife and I did 4 years ago. We were looking around at what was in South Tampa. We wanted to live in South Tampa, and that's where we wanted to be. But we couldn't really find the home that we wanted. We wanted to be on the water, so we moved out a little bit, to get the house that we wanted. And the commute, unfortunately, has gotten like a lot worse.
It's a nightmare from
it is,
that area.
Yes, yeah. So the commute has gotten doubly worse. But nonetheless, the reality is that a lot of people make that same choice,
Absolutely.
No matter the price point. You can have $1 million buyer say, I want to be in this area and this is what I want, and then have a hard time finding it, or it's so competitive that stuff is going over market, or it's extending them, or it's pushing their limits, so they say, I'll sacrifice a little bit on location. And I think just having counseled hundreds of customers and me going through that experience for the last 4 years personally, I think the one thing I'll never sacrifice again on is location.
Right.
Because it's so important.
Absolutely.
So much time you spend in a car and so much non-productive time, and I'd rather have less of a house in the location I really want to be in.
Absolutely.
A lot of buyers do make that mistake though. I want 2,000 square feet with a 3-car garage in South Tampa for $400. We'll get in line, because number one, the 3rd-car garage ain't happening.
Right.
And number two, under 400 for 2,000 square feet ain't happening. So if you want that house, you need to head out to Brandon, Riverview, Rico View, as we like to call it, or Fishhawk, or North Tampa, Lutz, Odessa, those areas, because you're not going to find that in South Tampa. So maybe sacrifice some. You know what? I'll take a 2-car garage and maybe 1,500 square feet, and then you're not sitting in the car all day. You're not dealing with traffic. You're not dealing with all those inconveniences, and you're close to everything you want to be.
All right, one, back to the inventory thing, which we all know is a big problem right now. And, you might be looking in a certain neighborhood, but guess what? A bunch of other people are too. So it's super competitive,
Very
even
competitive.
when something does hit the market, which is helping our market as far as pricing is concerned, but it's keeping a lot of buyers out of the market too.
It is. It's spooking them, and I think
Right.
that could be something to do with the April stats too. Those buyers that had looked in January, February, and March, made offers, got into bidding wars, didn't win, got frustrated, and said, "Forget it. I'm going to go rent for a year."
Absolutely, it
And
happens all
gave
the
up
time.
on it, and that's the the detriment of what's going on in the market for